All right, Shalom. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Racha Kodash, Shanya Kabad, Gadwala Rakwab, Zekwanyam Nawa. That's double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom Wabarakim, Labakarim, Shayasharala. And that's peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. And also to the confusion of faces that look like the other nations, but whose spirits resonate with the truth of these scriptures, and that have faith in the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, no matter what color of skin you are, so-called color of your skin. I want to say Shalom wa Barakim to you, brothers. Peace and blessings. So, I have an article up here by RT. It came out March 12th. It's entitled, Russia as close to any rogue state as any. And that's a quote, that we're later going to go into in this article. It says, while this MP claims from Skripal session in UK Parliament. So we can see the picture being painted, on Russia right now. We understand that it's biblical prophecy. The Lord has given us the eyes to see that World War III not only will happen because it's in the scriptures, but that is right around the corner. And the hearts of these kings, the hearts of, the Senate, the Congress, the governors, are all in the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. He's putting certain thoughts in their head. He's making them think certain things and things like that. In order to what? In order for biblical prophecy to come to pass. And with that being said, we're going to jump into a few scriptures that back up the claims in this article, because we understand prophecy is coming to pass when we see certain things in the world align with what the Bible is talking about. These are the things that we should be looking for. All right. The elder apostle Tahar just made a video stating how, the Lord has set up watchmen. He went into, I think it was Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, Isaiah, the 66th chapter, I believe, as well. And that's what we're doing right now. We're watching and we're making note of these things and pushing it out to the people. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Bidding these people to the marriage to come back to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. But I wanted to jump into this article, not to get off topic, because Russia is now being painted as the bad guy. They're being called all these different names, a rogue state, things like that, making it seem as if they're just, wild. They don't know what they're doing. And then it's going to seem justified in the eyes of these peons, of these people in America, when America wages war. Babylon the Great, which is America, wages war with Russia. And Russia's going to want to go to war, with America anyway. Lord willing, we'll get into that too. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump into this article and let's read about a few quotes and see how Russia is being painted in the eyes of really the whole world. It says members of the UK Parliament competed with one another on Monday afternoon to produce the most colorful and dramatic, you see these words being used, and it's true, to produce the most colorful and dramatic condemnations. Condemnation, that's where you get the word damnation, which goes back to the word damn, which just means doom, right? So to produce the most colorful and dramatic condemnations of Russia, pausing only to chastise their colleagues for not condemning Russia enough. You see? So let's get into what Theresa May said. Theresa May, the prime minister, appears to have concluded the investigation. She went on to say, there are only two plausible explanations for what happened in Salisbury on March 4th. Either this was a direct act by the Russian state, by the Russian state against our country, or the Russian government lost control of this potentially catastrophically, trying to use big words, or the Russian government lost control of this potentially catastrophically damaging nerve agent and allowed it to get into the hands of others. So no matter what, if you brothers don't know about it, but, the chemical that they're saying Russia took part in, or really was a lead in, had in creating, that killed, I forgot that guy's name. Man, I can see it, but I can't pronounce it. But at the end of the day, it was a chemical that killed the guy. They're saying Russia is are the makers of it. Basically, they're blaming them. But you see, they're saying no matter what, if they created it and then it killed the guy, or if they allowed it to get into the hands of somebody else, they're still blaming Russia. Now, Ian Duncan Smith, conservative MP, a subtle reference to appeasing Adolf Hitler. He goes on to say, Russia is as close to being a rogue state as any. That was the title of the article. It occupies Crimea, Crimea. It has helped occupy eastern Ukraine. It has created a hell on earth in Syria and is even now overseeing worse action. Who has really created they're all Edomites at the end of the day. You know, we got Egyptians fighting against Egyptians for real. But at the end of the day, you know, the worst catastrophe has happened in and has come from the leaders. What up? And has happened from the leaders that are in America, that are in Babylon the Great right now. Going all the way back to 1492, you know, and that catastrophe that took place over here, you know, in the Americas with the northern tribes. All right, the Native American Indians being slaughtered, the so-called Native American Indians and so-called Hispanics being slaughtered in their own land. All right, and then you had the southern tribe that were brought over here from the western banks or coast, if you will, from Africa, you know, over here to America as well. Blood was shed over here. You know, rape, robbery, and murder took place over here in the land of Babylon the Great, which is America. America is the only place that dropped, the only country or nation, if you will, kingdom, which is really what it is, that dropped a nuclear bomb on another place. And they have the nerve to talk about how, you know, Russia is creating hell on earth. Anyway, it goes on to read, this is a country locking up its members of the opposition. We've learnt this lesson before. If we appease a country like this, then we can expect even worse. So, you know, trying to paint Russia as a bad guy. America's a bad guy. Really, they're all the bad guy. They're all Edomites at the end of the day. And they're all going to feel the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's why it's called the day of the Lord's vengeance. Anyway, Chris Bryant, Labor MP used terrorists. Oh, okay, it's what he did, right. Used terrorist attacks against Russia as evidence of Putin's bloodlust. Now, this is my favorite. Look at this. He goes on to say, I don't suppose there's a single member of this House that is surprised President Putin would resort to violence because he's done it so many times before. Now look what he said. 334 killed in Beslan massacre. 170 killed unnecessarily in the Moscow theater siege. 299 killed in the M17 airplane that was brought down by the Russians. You see, countless. But again, nobody is talking about all the bombs that were dropped on North Korea by America. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about, again, that nuclear bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. Anyway, countless journalists, countless people who stood up to him as political opponents in other countries around the world, murdered by him. And yes, Sergei Magnitsky. All right. We're going to get one more, I think. Maybe a few more. We'll see. It's getting good. Tom Tugendhat, conservative MP, begged NATO and this soon-to-be abandoned EU to step in. This, if not an act of war, was certainly a warlike act by the Russian Federation, and this is not the first we've seen. Now is the time to call on our allies, to call on the EU, which has worked with us so well on sanctions, and NATO, and particularly on the US, you see, to ask what they will do to assist us when we are in need. Let's keep going. Rupa Huck, Labor MP. If the time for Bond cliches is not now, then when? Business cannot go on as usual, and it won't. Can the Prime Minister take this opportunity to tighten the loopholes that do exist in the system concerning money laundering, so that from Russia with cash doesn't turn into from Russia with blood? That was the last one. But as you can see, they're painting the picture as if Russia is this horrible country, this bloodthirsty country, when really, again, I'm going to keep saying it, they're all Edomites. You so-called white people are the Edomites that the Bible speaks of, the devils that the Bible speaks of. You come in the spirit of Satan, all right? And the Israelites, more specifically, the elect out of the nation of Israel, the 144,000 men, and then you have the 1/3 behind them, made up of other men, actually, men, women, and children. We come in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You so-called white people, You're as death. That's what it talks about. You enlargeth your desire as death. You are as hell. So let's go on and read a little bit about prophecy. This is Ezekiel chapter 38. We're going to read starting at verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. All right, I only read that so we can get a background of what this chapter is talking about. So we're talking about Gog and Magog, which are who? Russians. The Russians right now. So we're going to jump down to verse... Oh, I passed it. We're going to jump down to verse... verse 9. Ezekiel 38, verse 9. Thou, talking about Gog and Magog, which is Russia, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands, so all the people that are coming with Russia, and many people with thee, right? So all the countries that are going to be with China, I was thinking of China. So all the people that are going to be coming with Russia, being China and Iran, just to name two so far. But they're going to come and they're going to, like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Why? Because when all those nuclear missiles come over here, they're going to cover the sky. There's going to be so many. And even when they drop and they land and hit Babylon the Great, they hit America and all the destruction, the smoke is going to come up. And it's going to be so thick that it's going to cover the skies. Now it goes on to read verse 10. Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, meaning your mind. Who is your mind? Gog and Magog, Russia. Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. The unwalled villages is talking about America, Babylon the Great. Just like the Roman Empire spread, one of the many reasons actually why the Roman Empire lost its power is because they spread their rulership, they spread their military, across many different lands. That's how they began to conquer. But then that made them weak. At the end of the day, they were spread too thin, even though they were large. And America's really doing the same thing right now, although we know it's other things coming into play, But America is enlarging their desires as hell. They can't get enough. And they're putting military bases all across the world, which is making them weak at home. And that's what's going to happen. An evil thought is coming. We just read it. We just read the evil thought that Russia is being painted as the bad guys right now. All right. And America is the unwalled villages. They're not being protected. They have no protection right now at home in America. They're weak. Verse 11 again. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. And all these people that are with America are going to be destroyed in nuclear fire with these missiles, by these missiles. All the people that take hold onto the philosophies of this world, the philosophies of the wicked, their doctrines, the abominable foods that they eat, homosexuality, pedophilia, bestiality, all these things. They're going to be destroyed with the missiles from the evil thought that the Lord is planting in the minds of the Russians, the Chinese, the Moabites, the Iranians, all of them. So we're going to get one more scripture. Then we're going to get out of here. This is Revelation 17, verse. We'll start at the top. I want to get the point really quickly. I don't want to read too much of this. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, that represents the prophecies, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now we're going to jump down, because I'm not sure if we're going to get to the point where it talks about this, but the whore is America, and the waters represent people. All right, people in multitudes and tongues. Okay, we're going to jump down now to, we'll just start at verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, okay, here we are, where the whore sitteth, and the whore is America, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And you do see that. The whore sitteth upon many people and multitudes and nations and tongues. America rules basically over the entire world. You know, whatever they say goes. And we read that in one of the quotes. It says we have to call on EU. What did he say? We have to now call on EU, NATO. And he put emphasis, even though America is a part of NATO, he put emphasis on, and he said specifically the US. Okay. And the 10 horns, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, and the beast is basically the Roman Empire duplicated in the modern day, coming back in the form of the of NATO and the EU. So that same Roman Empire, which is the beast system, is now coming back in the likeness, in the same fashion, being duplicated by the NATO and the EU. All right, so we can get a little bit of understanding. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, so upon this NATO and EU system, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate. And remember, the whore is America. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, meaning uncover her sins, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, because those nuclear missiles will hit America. And now, but it says the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore. You know, just to name a few of those. Salakia, I'm still recording. Cool. So I had a call really quickly, but I just ended it. I want to read it just one more time for my own sake. Revelation 17 verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. That's right. I was getting to naming a few of those 10 horns. So you have Luxembourg, Italy, France, Germany, just to name a few. Can't really think of any more. I tried to get to 5, but you know, that call took me out of the game. But through the Spirit of the Lord, I'm back. But they're all going to turn and they're going to hate the whore. You know, they're going to hate America. And we saw a little bit of that in the article right now. You know, but it's going to come basically when, you know, America's going to try to step foot into Iran. And we know that Iran and Russia have dealings together. And that's when Russia's going to come in. And Russia's going to have to, you know, as it talks about, matter of fact, in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, you know, starting at the top, America's going to have to come in and be a defense. Russia is going to have to come in and be a defense unto Iran. And you're going to have all the other 10 horns. They're going to hate America. And we see this strife right now currently being built up, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And that's why I wanted to bring out that article. So I pray that that was edifying. And I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash. All right, Shanya Kabad, Gadwali Rakwabzik, Kwanyam Nawa. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom wa Barakim la Bakarim Shayasharala. Peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. Keep looking for these signs. War is right around the way. The microchip, which is the mark of the beast, is right around the corner as well. You know, we're looking for all these prophecies. So keep being on your watch and keep prophesying, you know. Keep being a better brother. You know, these days are drawing nigh. Shalom.